Do you know what makes truly unstoppable people stand out? It's not just raw talent, luck, or connections. It's something deeper, something intangible. It's the ability to harness chaos, to thrive under pressure, and to turn every setback into a stepping stone toward greatness. Imagine this. You're the underdog, the one underestimated, the one they doubted could make it. But you didn't just prove them wrong. You shattered their expectations, rewrote the rules, and left them scrambling to keep up. This is the story of you, the bold, the resilient, the dangerous. The person who doesn't just survive challenges, but uses them to grow stronger, smarter, and more determined. Why? Because you're not here to play by their rules. You're here to redefine the game entirely. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you're a force to be reckoned with, and why they'll never see you coming. People who don't try to get power but simply get it are the real danger. Unlike people who are power-hungry and want to be in charge, these people are focused on mastering themselves, their skill, and their purpose. Their strength doesn't come from wanting to be in charge. It comes from being able to motivate, guide, and produce without needing approval. People who hold on to power out of fear are scared off by this quiet confidence. Imagine a legend that isn't taken seriously and is questioned coming out of the dark. The world thought they weren't important, but their strength showed them otherwise. The underdog's bite comes from being able to do well even when things go wrong. While others are fighting to be the best, these people are focused on growing, getting better, and making something that can't be broken. They are dangerous because they are real, which goes against the usual way of looking for power. They gain power not by tricking people, but by the undeniable force of their deeds and honesty. This kind of power can't be taken away or weakened. It just is, and people are drawn to it without being asked or forced to. People don't respond with words when people question them. They do things. Their strength comes from being able to change and get past problems, using them as stepping stones. They don't question the status quo because they want to rebel, but because they exist, and that goes against the rules. People like this are scary, not because they have power, but because they don't need it. They draw power to themselves, which changes the world around them. Most people don't like being uncertain, so they cling to rules and limits to feel safe. But you see them as obstacles that need to be taken down. Fear of the unknown often stops other people in their tracks, but you do well in the unknown. Chaos doesn't scare you. It makes you smarter. Others might be hesitant, but you move forward without fear of changing the rules when they are no longer useful. Breaking rules isn't a sign of rebellion in and of itself. It's a way to question limits that get in the way of progress. People who are afraid of what they don't understand often put limits on others. But you know that to grow, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You don't just get by in chaos, you thrive in it. When things are really messy, your instincts take over and lead you to creative answers. It's important to accept ambiguity, not because it's easy, but because it's required. When other people see chaos, you see a chance. Every problem you face is an opportunity to set new limits, showing that the rules other people follow were never meant for someone like you. You stand out because you can stay calm and focused even when things are going wrong. You approach chaos like a puzzle, putting it together piece by piece while other people are still scared to move. You've shown that real power comes from being able to change by turning uncertainty into a playground. It's not foolishness to break the rules. It's bravery to make new ones. You're not just getting through chaos, you're mastering it. By doing this, you're creating a world that others can only follow. People often see rejection as a problem, a clear no that stops growth. But for you, failure isn't the end. It's just something that needs to be changed. When other people might give up, you see an opportunity, a chance to reset, grow, and keep going with even more drive. Every turn down is not a loss, but a chance to learn. It tells you more about how other people see you than about your abilities. You don't let it bother you. You use it as fire. Many people let rejection make them less confident, but you turn it into a more powerful tool. Every time a door shuts in your face, it's a new problem that you need to solve, not by force, but by being persistent and creative. Setbacks help you get to where you want to be. You look at things that other people would ignore, see failure as input, and use it to make something better. Your determination gets stronger with each no, pushing you to show others and yourself that limits are just ideas. It's not enough to just deal with rejection. You have to learn how to handle it. It doesn't scare you. It makes you stronger. When other people stop, you change. You see rejection as a sign that you're on the verge of something big, as something that will change you instead of something that will make you run away. Because you turned obstacles into stepping stones, you built a strong base. Each rejection is a spark that helps you move forward and shows that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about living in the face of it. The word no doesn't stop you. It moves you forward. In a world that loves noise, silence is a strange thing to find. It's a strategy that talks louder than words. Silence isn't a sign of weakness. It's a tool that people who know how powerful control can be use. While others are shouting for attention, your quiet presence builds tension and makes people respect you without you having to say a word. Real strength doesn't come out and say it. You let your actions, results, and energy speak for themselves, just like a cat doesn't need to roar to show it's in charge. Silence doesn't mean there is no power. It means there is power. Before a storm, there is a pause that holds the room together and a quiet certainty that makes people lean in to listen. People who like chaos are upset by your quiet, which forces them to face their own doubts. It's not about not saying anything. It's about knowing when to speak up and making sure that your voice is as loud as thunder when you do. This lack of action is not laziness. It's discipline. A magnetic force is made by quiet power. Others are interested in the secret because they can feel the strength below the surface. Your power over them doesn't have to come from what you say. People who think that loudness means power are unnerved by your silence, which shows that you are sure of yourself, clear, and in charge. Quiet is your best tool in a world full of noise. It's the low roar that can be heard long after you're gone, showing that real power doesn't have to shout. It just is. To really be powerful, you need to change the rules, not just learn how to follow them. Others are trying to do well within the limits of systems that are already in place. You, on the other hand, are creating your own game and changing the criteria for success. You don't just question the status quo. You take it apart and build something new that is truly yours. Your strength is making trends, not just following them. People who are innovators don't copy others. They set the pace and let others catch up. The rest of the world watches and responds, but you quietly build, plan, and carry out your plans. When they do, you'll already be far ahead, and your memory will be well on its way. Your moves are planned, but they could go in any direction. You now know that acting in a way that goes against what others expect will have the most effect, not acting in a way that fits in. While other people are focused on short-term wins, you're working on the long game by creating systems and paths that make their standards useless. Vision and courage are at the heart of this power to change the rules of the game. When you compete, you're not just trying to win. You have a bigger goal in mind. You're here to make something permanent, something that can't be copied because it's unique to you. Some people may find it hard to understand how you do things, but that's one of your strengths. As they try to beat each other, you're changing the rules of the game, showing that the strongest player isn't the one who follows the rules, but the one who makes them up. Fear isn't something that gets in the way. It's a source of energy that's just ready to be used. Most people see fear as a sign to stop, run away, or avoid. But for you, it's a sign to move forward. You still feel afraid, but you've learned how to deal with it differently. Fear guides you to the places where you can grow and find new opportunities. Transformation takes place in the unknown. It's not in the safety of certainty that growth happens, but in the chaos where risk meets promise. It takes courage to go into that space, not being afraid, but being ready to act anyway. Every time you face something new, you show yourself that you can handle it. And that action makes fear go away. Fear makes you more focused. It makes you consider, which makes you more aware and forces you to think critically. You don't freeze. You change. You use fear to drive your work, turning doubt into determination and hesitation into energy. Some people might see fear as a problem, but you see it as power. It pushes you to try new things, take chances, and go beyond what you think is possible. Fear makes you aware when you're living and that you're pushing the limits. And every step you take into the unknown makes you stronger, more durable, and impossible to stop. Fear doesn't hold you back. Instead, it gives you the strength to get past it, turning uncertainty into the basis of your biggest successes. Luck doesn't play a role in unstoppable success. It comes from calculated persistence and unwavering drive. People may see your successes and think you're lucky, but they don't see the years of hard work, focus, and discipline that led to them. Every win isn't just a lucky break. It's the result of careful planning, deliberate action, and relentless performance. You don't wait for chances to come your way. You make them. When other people see problems, you see tasks to solve, chances to learn, and steps toward mastery. Setbacks don't stop you. They make you more determined. You know how to turn mistakes into lessons and lessons into fire, and each one pushes you further. A goal is what will make you successful. Others are focused on short-term wins or getting approval from others, but you are focused on long-term effects and steady growth. Every choice and action fits into a bigger plan that other people don't yet understand. You've learned how to stay ahead of the curve, deal with problems before they happen, and predict them. Your strength is what makes your success unbeatable. Some people are happy to rest after a win, but you're already getting ready for the next task. Your drive doesn't change. In fact, it gets stronger as you reach new goals. For you, success isn't just a goal. It's a way of life, a never-ending quest for greatness that makes sure no problem, setback, or competitor can stop you. You don't just become successful. You are successful. People who stay within their own self-imposed limits often don't understand the strength that comes from being independent and driven. People who feel safe in groups are upset by your ability to be different, think freely, and act bravely. They see your failure to follow the rules as a sign of rebellion, and your unwavering determination as a sign of pride. But this view says more about how insecure they are than it does about you. Their view of the world is challenged by your presence. People around you are trying to stay safe by sticking to the edges, but you want to break through them. They see you as a disruptor, not because you want to upset their balance, but because just being there makes their false beliefs clear. People think your strength is dangerous because it makes them think of what they could do if they were brave enough to leave their comfort zones. The truth is that you don't want their praise or understanding. You just keep going. Your freedom is your compass that helps you find your way through all the opinions and complaints that are around you. You won't shrink to make other people feel better because you know that the only way to grow is to push your limits instead of sticking to them. What they think is resistance is really just being real. You're proud of who you are and don't mind going your own way. Don't worry about what they think. Their views are not your limits. In the end, being strong isn't about fitting in. It's about breaking free and doing well where others are afraid to go. Being unpredictable is a strength that makes you stand out in a world where everyone wants things to go according to plan. It's not about being crazy or unstable. It's about being able to change with the times and stay ahead of everyone else while they try to catch up. People think they understand you until you change ways, leaving them confused and unable to plan or control your next move. You stay in charge because you can change. Others depend on set patterns, but you do best when you welcome change and question what people think should happen. People around you are always on edge because they don't know how to approach or fight you. Not because you want to confuse them, but because you know how to stay flexible in a rigid world. People are focused on what they think, while you're already moving on to the next chance and coming up with plans they couldn't think of. This way of thinking about the future will help you stay ahead and leave a memory on your own terms. Unpredictability is your strength because it keeps you coming up with new ideas and never stays the same. Your way of doing things is scary for people who need to be in charge. They can't put you in a box or use common terms to describe you. They waste time trying to figure out what you're going to do next while you're busy making new paths, setting trends, and changing the rules of the game. Being unpredictable isn't just a strategy, it's how you live. It makes sure that no one can stop you from moving forward and taking control, while others try to catch up to the game you've already changed. Untouchable grit is the quiet strength that shows up when you push past the bad things that happen to you. People who hate you try to stop you by criticizing, rumors, and doubting you. But their words lose their power when you focus on growing and getting better. The key is to realize that other people's negativity shows their fears, not your own. When you put your success first, the noise around you becomes less important. Being resilient isn't just getting through hard times. It means living in spite of them. It means knowing your worth without outside validation and going on your path even if people don't agree with you. With each step up, you get farther away from their small-mindedness. While they are consumed by jealousy or judgment, you use your energy to improve yourself, your skills, and your goal. Haters can't control you when you don't want their support or attention. You stop responding, which makes their attempts pointless. Focusing on your goals and avoiding criticism shows that you are strong, which scares people who are stuck in doubt and comparison. Your biggest reaction will be your success. You don't defend yourself. Instead, you let the accomplishments speak for themselves. When you're resilient, every problem you face becomes a stepping stone that helps you get to the top, where no one can touch or stop you. Untouchable grit isn't so much about staying out of trouble as it is about making your life so full of meaning and growth that bad things can't take hold. As you go up, the noise below gets quieter. You've done amazing things so far, but this is just the start of a much bigger trip. Some people might see your goals as the end, but you know they're just steps on the way to something bigger. Your never-ending drive and desire to grow are what make you stand out, and they scare people who are just watching. People who stay in their comfort zones get scared when they hear this truth. Your potential is endless. They have convinced themselves that there is a limit to their progress and that their goals can only go so far. But you've broken those fantasies. You're not making progress to show other people they're wrong. You're making progress to show yourself that the best is yet to come. Each problem you solve and each win you claim sends a clear message. You're not done yet. Your eyes are on fire, which means that your journey has only just started. Others judge their success by short-lived praise, but you focus on making a permanent difference and growing with each step. People who are against you are scared by your trip because it shows them their own unrealized potential. They think you have a strong will that they don't have, and that makes them question the choices they've made. But their doubt doesn't take away from you. It gives you strength. The most powerful thing about just getting started is the hope for what's to come. You and the rest of the world haven't seen your full ability yet. You change the rules every time you take a step forward, showing that success is a way of life, not a place you get to. Labels like dangerous are a badge of honor for people who are brave enough to break the rules and push the limits. It means you are brave enough to question, upset, and fight the status quo without asking for permission first. True change has never come from people who follow the rules. It comes from people who are strong enough to break the rules and go against what society expects. When people say you're dangerous, it's usually because they're afraid of what you stand for, not staying in their safety zones or being limited by their fears. They see a stubbornness in you that they can't explain, a desire to break the rules that they've long thought were set in stone. Being dangerous means taking risks and knowing that growth doesn't come without pain. It's refusing comfort in favor of growth, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. People who are real leaders, thinkers, and game changers are often seen as threats because they question what's normal. They don't want to fit into predetermined boxes. Instead, they make their own paths and encourage others to do the same. Taking on the label means accepting the pain you cause others, not because you want to, but because you know it's necessary. It's about being strong in your truth and going after a dream that other people are too afraid to think of. Being dangerous doesn't mean being careless. It means purposely breaking rules that stop progress. That's when you show that real power is in being brave enough to be different and achieve on your own terms. Being excellent doesn't mean following someone else's plan or fitting into a mold. To be truly great, you have to rewrite the script and make up your own story. It's about breaking free from rules that have already been set and being brave enough to question what people think is possible. If you want to redefine greatness, you have to accept that you are unpredictable. Being safe is good, but staying safe doesn't often lead to big discoveries. What makes you unique is your ability to change, come up with new ideas, and surprise people. People are on edge because they don't know what you'll do next, which is where your power lies. It's not about chaos to be unexpected. It's about showing that you're always changing and ahead of the game. Your excellence is built on your strength and perseverance. Others might fail when things get tough, but you do great. Problems don't break you. They sharpen you and make you better with each one. It's not only great that you can stay calm and collected when others are freaking out, it's inspiring. It shows that being excellent isn't about avoiding problems. It's about getting good at them. People are scared of you because you won't adapt. They are uncomfortable because your success doesn't fit nicely into what they thought would happen. They can't put you into a category or guess what will happen with you. Not trying to explain yourself, you let what you do speak for itself. Being true to yourself is what redefines excellence. It's not about beating other people. Being honest, being brave, and not settling for anything less than extraordinary are what make a heritage that can't be repeated. If this journey resonated with you, if you feel the energy of breaking barriers and owning your unique power, then don't stop here. Hit that like button to show your support and subscribe to Your Divine Sync for more content that challenges the norm and empowers you to redefine your limits. We're just getting started, and the best is yet to come. Join our growing community of bold, unstoppable minds. Together, we'll keep pushing boundaries and rewriting the rules. Until next time, keep embracing your power, living unapologetically, and proving that anything is possible when you choose to be limitless. See you in the next one.